So, this is it. Good morning, everybody. As you see, currently I'm in a hotel, and it might surprise you, but actually I'm back in Brisbane again. As you have seen in the videos, it was quite wet. There are a lot of floodings in New South Wales. I lost my last 2 days of footage because my SD card got corrupted. So I could not show you, but it was even worse than the other days. I got ill, I got sick, everything was wet. So actually I started to make the decision to go back to Brisbane. Before we continue, I have to explain a few things. The last video was maybe ending a bit abrupt. The reason was I was recording on my first SD card in my GoPro, and during the trip my SD card was full, so I replaced the SD card about 20 kilometers before I arrived at the camp spot, and I just kept filming on it, and 2-3 days after it I filmed with it as well. But now I'm back in the hotel. I found out that the SD card got corrupted. I tried to use a recovery program to extract some data from the SD card, but it didn't work out very well. So I have no real footage of the days I'm talking about. It's a shame, but it's the way it is. I do have some photos from my Canon DSLR camera I will put in, and I will talk a little about the road I went. I continued cycling to Andrew Drynan Park. I put up the tent quickly because it was already raining, and at night the rain really increased. It was really coming down in an insane amount. I never saw so much rain. I had to stay for 2 days at the camping spot because there were just floods everywhere. It was 2 days non-stop raining, a lot of thunderstorms. I was really happy that on the camping spot there were some other guests with big RVs and some off-road campers, and I could hide in there. And I told them about my plan to go to Lismore and then to the coast. They strongly advised me not to go to Lismore, but change my route, because Lismore is really an area, as soon as it's raining, Lismore is the first place that gets flooded. It's really where all the little creeks and rivers are coming together and then flow to the Pacific Ocean. So I did change my route. Instead of going to Lismore, planned to go to Casino, but I never reached Casino. So that night I camped somewhere on a non-camping spot, just put my tent up because the rain was really terrible. And the next day I waked up early, cycled back to Brisbane, where I am now. So the last couple of nights I wasn't really sleeping much. Maybe 2-3 hours a night. Combination of all the rains, the roads that are closed, the rerouting I had to do, I decided to go back to Brisbane, to the hotel where I currently am. Just stayed here a couple of days, thinking what I should do. Taking the plane to Sydney isn't the best option, because Sydney is okay, I guess, but all the other parts surrounding it are really struggling with flooding. So cycling to Canberra through the mountains is also something too dangerous at the moment. Taking the plane to Melbourne could be an option. Melbourne is okay, and then maybe cycling from Melbourne to Adelaide would be an option, but I decided for a totally different option. I decided not to take the plane to Melbourne. I decided after 3 weeks that it would be better if I go home, take the plane back to Germany. Yeah, sounds like a surprise maybe, but at the moment I really have peace with it. I mean, I've really seen a lot of great things, and actually I did everything I wanted to do. I really wanted to cycle somewhere I never cycled before. I really wanted to see Australia, see the kangaroos, see the koalas, see all the animals you never see unless you go to the zoo. I really cycled some awesome places. And although I only saw a bit of Queensland and New South Wales, I've seen a lot of things that are a bit less famous in Australia. The floodings, the sometimes terrible roads. I really seen small creeks turn into wild water rivers in some couple of hours. What I actually do now is repack the bike. Gotta pack my other stuff. Already rebooked my flight, and then then this is the end. It is not what I expected, but it is the best. I think it's the best decision. So I want to thank you for watching. I want to say thanks and hello to all my friends, family members, colleagues, and I really hope you enjoyed it. It was not the long journey I expected, but you got a glimpse of Australia. I did got a glimpse of Australia. Goodbye to everyone, and I will meet you either at home, at work, at the sport club, or whenever we see each other. I just say bye, and thanks for making this possible. In 2 hours the plane will leave, so we are right on time. No problem at all. Oh, I heard a kid coming, so I'm not the only one in the plane. $7 in the evening, empty airfield, Brisbane Airport. There's a plane at least. I guess I have enough to leave. This is really actually a very sad moment if you look at it. This is just as sad as leaving. I decided not to take the plane to Melbourne. Looking back now, because I'm already back in Germany, it was really the best decision not to go to Melbourne. I really was in doubt, but if you look at the weather reports from last weeks, you see why.
Rain and thunderstorms to increase the flood threat across much of inland New South Wales. Now, of particular concern are these red areas, which is the Namoy, Macquarie, Lachlan and the Narran rivers, where we're seeing major flooding occurring in some locations along these rivers. Now, with more widespread rainfall expected, we're definitely concerned about communities living on or near these rivers, creeks and streams. We could also see severe thunderstorms developing up around southern Queensland and northern New South Wales. Rain and thunderstorms increasing the flood threat across New South Wales and Victoria. The final round of heavy rain and thunderstorms likely to bring widespread flooding to New South Wales and parts of Queensland.
Heavy rain continues to fall across southeast Australia. This is producing widespread moderate to major flooding across multiple states.
Major flooding is ongoing through Victoria and New South Wales, and unfortunately a lot more rain is on the way for these areas later this week.